Hi there, my name's AruvaChan, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I know a lot of you probably don't know this about me, but I got into wood carving, like wood burning, I guess, about a year or so ago, because one of the artists that I watch on YouTube on YouTube, he did a wood carving thing, and I thought it was just so amazing. So I'm hoping that maybe this sort of gives you a little inkling about what this is. I'm going to change the music real quick. Don't know. I think I'm going to go with something a little less... Let's go with Morning Coffee. This is a good song. It's a very simple song. No words. So, I really want to just talk about a few things today. I don't really want to talk about anything in particular. I've had a lot of people ask me different questions, and I thought I might, answer a few of them while we're doing this. And then this might be a little bit longer than some of my other ones, or, it might not be quite as long as some. Who knows? I'm just going with how I feel. Which is a little difficult. Look at this wire. So I started this YouTube channel a few months ago now, and I can't believe how fast it blew up. Like, it's crazy to me. And I really can't thank you guys enough by how much you support me. It really is incredible that I get, any support from anybody, especially you guys. Like, I've had people come up to me and tell me that they relate so much to the stuff that I'm saying, and it's really incredible. But then again, I've had other people who and I'm not complaining about this. I'm just sort of trying to get a little bit of information out there. People come up to me. Well, I say come up. They comment, which I suppose is just coming up in my feed. They comment on my videos saying odd things. Not quite odd in, a bad way. But, they had questions that, I try my best to answer, but a lot of the times I miss it. Like, I'll miss comments if I don't see them. And it's hard to keep up with my older videos, because my newer ones get more, attention, I guess. But don't let that discourage you from commenting on older videos. I absolutely read, or I try to read every comment. And I've said this before, but if you can't, if you don't get your question answered, ask it again. And then again. Like, I'll eventually find it. I'll eventually answer it. But the one thing that stuck out really, really much to me is people say, well, why don't you, when you're doing these paintings or whatever you're doing, why don't you use a script? And, well, one, because this is me doing it right now, like, I'm currently talking to you right now, watch me do a 2. Here's a 6 in sign language. Like, I'm literally here talking, and, like, I record this before I post it, so I'm not, like, re-recording over, and you can probably tell the audio quality is not that great. Like, it's an iPad that's recording it, but, like, it's very hard to read, draw, and talk. Like, I can hardly draw and talk, which is why I, like, sometimes pause when I'm talking, because I need to collect my thoughts and kind of go back to what I was thinking. And, I don't know, sometimes it's difficult for me to think. And that's, that's a me thing. But, still. I wanted to say that I usually don't do scripts. Like, most of these are just me talking about stuff, like getting stuff off my chest. And if something makes me feel bad, I'll most likely talk about it in the future. Like, I had somebody comment a week or so ago that the images that I use for my previews make it look like I've done animations, and I have not done animations. Animating is really hard, and I respect everybody who does it, but I haven't. Like, the only time I ever animated things was when I was really young, like doing, those really old memes where it's like, draw your furry OC doing this thing because that's what you do. Yeah, I haven't animated since I was really young, and it's not to say I'm not going to eventually, because who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I draw those things like that because I feel like it catches more people's eyes than if it was just my drawing. Now, I could always just do like a preview of the drawing, but I don't think that's quite as fun. Like, I like drawing the picture, sort of telling you what I'm talking about. Like, I think it's more fun. I think it's more fun that way. And I'll bet a lot of you agree with that. Like, even if I'm not drawing a picture about my coworkers, like, I'm still talking about them or whatever. I don't know. And that kind of stuff, it works for me. And right now, this is currently my job, so I'm still learning how to do my job. And there's gonna be times where I get stuff wrong, and I'll learn. Like, if you guys really don't like the preview images and they make you think it's an animation, then I can change it. Like, I'm probably not going to, because it works for me and it draws people in. But if it really is like, if it really bothers somebody, then of course I would change it, because I really want to please you guys. And I know I say I a lot, and I extend that I. That's another thing people have commented on. People have said, you say I a lot. That's just how I talk. I can't help it. Like, I've taken speech classes before, and they tell you, like, you're not supposed to say or the or and like all this kind of stuff. But it's hard when you're just kind of like talking to a friend. You just revert back to whatever you're comfortable with. And basically why I talk like this is because this is how I talk to other people. It's how I talk to my friends. And it would be weird if I didn't talk like that to you guys, because I'm working as if you guys are my friends, and the more I feel comfortable with you, the better, I'll be able to talk to you, and the easier it'll be for me to genuinely, like, put out more stuff. Because right now, it's very hard thinking of stuff that you guys would want to listen to, and I know probably a lot of you will be like, ooh, I want to listen to everything you want to say. Like, yeah, sure, but, like, you don't, though. You don't want to hear about the one time when I was in, kindergarten and I peed myself or whatever. Like, you probably actually would like that. It'd probably be something that everybody would be like, well, I want to hear about that time you peed yourself. Like, guys. But, maybe I'll get to that level of, trust with you guys. But I, honestly, this is me giving up my life to you. Like, I'm telling you everything about me, and there are people who don't get that, which is okay. You don't have to understand or like everything that I do. Like, I'm doing it for me, and like I said, you don't have to understand or like everything I do. Like, I know, I'm sure my parents don't. Like, when I told my mom that I shaved part of my head, she was like, oh, you didn't. I was like, well? She was like, please tell me it just wasn't, like, half your head. And I was like, well, of course it wasn't half of my head. Like, I have some, like, knowledge about that. Like, if I have to get a job, I'm not gonna have a shaved head and do it. Like, so I only cut a little bit where it could be covered. She was like, okay. I was like, okay. But, like, as I'm coming into my own, I'm starting to realize that I can't care what other people think. As much as I want to, I shouldn't. Because it just makes me, it hinders my growth as a person. And these kind of things are more like de-stressing for me. Like, they should be. They're starting to feel a little stressful because I have like a schedule that I actually have to keep. And I've got like ADHD or something, and I can't make myself do things like wake up. But I'm working on everything, and it's part of being an adult, so that I constantly have to keep working, and which sucks. Oh God, there's no rest ever, except when I'm sleeping, then I rest. But it's a thing that I'm working on, Like, I'm sure everybody wants to be better. Like, you want to be better at art, or you want to be better at singing, or you want to, be better at bicycle tricks. I don't know you. You probably want to be better at bicycle tricks. That'd be pretty cool. Like, I'd love to be better at tons of things, but right now I'm working on being a better adult, because I'm not a great adult. But, I'm still very young, and I've been told by quite a few people that, your early 20s is where you start to figure things out, but you're still really not. You're like a child, but, like, you've been given permission to do things. And it's very true to that. And it's difficult to have that sort of freedom because I just don't know what to do with it. Like, I want to go out and do things and, like, be the adult that I'm supposed to be, but at the same time, like, I'm scared. I'm scared of where I'm gonna go, and I'm scared of what I'm gonna have to do. Like, I'm gonna have to eventually be that adult. Like, I'll have a family, or, adult friends. I'll go to brunch and do all that kind of stuff. Which, I don't know, like, am I being too dependent on my parents? Probably. Do I want to be too dependent on my parents? No, absolutely not. But I am anyway. And why is that? I don't know. Maybe because I'm scared. I think I'm definitely scared of being an adult. Like, change is scary, and I've moved around quite a bit, so I absolutely know that change is scary, but change is a necessary thing for growth. And, for as sad and as scared as it makes me, it's a huge thing. I was reading this thing last night, and somebody had messaged me and said, I probably have this thing, and it's called, like, rejection something syndrome. It's like something like common with ADHD. And I don't know if I have ADHD. Like, my mom said she got me tested when I was young, but I still don't. Like, I kicked my brother today, and, like, I just did it because I thought it would be funny or fun, like, or I would enjoy doing it. And he turned to me, he was like, why would you kick me? And I was like, I don't know, like, it's just a thing. And my mom was like, why do you even kick at all? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I do the things I do. Like, I'm not doing them out of, like, malice. But, like, I still do them. I don't know. But the rejection syndrome, it's, like, any sort of rejection or, bullying or, teasing is, like, devastating. And I was reading it, and it, like, everything made so much sense. Like, I just, like, I don't want to blame anything for me being the way I am, because, I gotta take responsibility if I am that adult. But at the same time, it's nice to know that maybe I'm not the only one who feels this way when somebody teases them, or, maybe there's a reason why I act like this. And it's not just because I'm, a terrible person. Like, I always want to think, like, maybe there is a reason. And, you know, maybe it is just me being a jerk. Or, you know, a brat or whatever. But, like I said, that's something I gotta work on. It's something we all gotta work on, I guess. And I need to work on being more okay with being alone. Because that's a big thing for me. Like, I can't be alone, ever. I just feel terrible, and, like, I don't want to be alone. And, you know, that's something I tell people all the time, is that when I'm alone, I get anxious and scared, and, like, I start, you know, having bad ideas about, like, what if there's somebody who will burn the house down, or, like, maybe not burn the house down, but, like, come into the house while I'm here and try to kill me or something. Like, I have those kind of thoughts a lot, and it's only ever when I'm alone. Which is sad, because I have them when I'm, you know, sleeping at night. And, I will occasionally just, like, go into my mom's room, be like, hey, I had a nightmare. And, like, I'll sleep in her room for a couple nights until my, like, brain calms down. And, like, it's super bad at night. Like, I have, you know, I can't watch really scary stuff, or I can't sleep. Like, I don't know why. Like, it doesn't affect most people like it affects me, and it makes me sad, because like, how am I going to be a functioning adult if I get scared of, you know, a chair in my living room because I think it's the Grudge girl? Like, I don't know, like, you just don't hear that kind of stuff from adults. Maybe because they've, you know, learned to avoid things that scared them, or, you know, whatever, but I still feel like I'm a child. Like, I'm so childish in everything I do. And I don't try to be, but it always kind of, like, comes out that way. And I tend to stay quiet, because I fear rejection. And it comes back to the rejection syndrome thing. Like, it's like rejection syndrome dysphoria, which means you just can't take it. And, that goes a lot with, like, criticism, and, you know, I have never been a big fan of criticism, mostly because I can't take it. Like, I love when people praise my art, or, you know, tell me how I can improve, but if anybody says anything the wrong way, then it comes off as, you know, they hate me, they hate my art, maybe I should never talk to them again. Which is bad, and it doesn't mean that they hate me if they don't like my art, or if they don't like me. You know, it shouldn't be the end of the world for me, but a lot of the times it is. Like, I've spent nights crying because I just knew that somebody hated me. Like, who? Like, maybe at the time it was my friends, or my cousin, or, you know, my brothers, or my parents. I don't know. Like, there's a lot, you know, going on in my brain. My brain runs at 100 million miles an hour. I can't stop it. No matter how hard I try. Like, yoga helps, and, like, the deep breathing exercises that they tell you to do in yoga, like, that stuff really does help, because it helps you clear your mind a little bit, like, focus. It's like looking through glasses instead of, you know, trying to go on without them. But at the same time, it's still difficult, because, you know, you're still struggling, because you gotta still figure out why you react like this, and it's possible that I'm like this because I do have ADHD, and it's just been misdiagnosed as nothing, like. And I remember when I was a little kid, and I I could sit still. Like, that was never a problem. And I could look at a pen when an adult told me to look at a pen and watch it move. So, where's the ADHD? Like, do I just not have ADHD? Like, what's my deal? I don't know. I'd like to know, because it's irritating not knowing. Like, I feel like there is something genuinely wrong with me half the time. And, like, it's a lot of the, like, well, I mean, they've already tested me, so I obviously don't have anything. But then people come up, people comment and say that you probably do have this. You know, your symptoms sound very similar to, this problem that most of these people have. And, it could just be my brain. I don't know. I have a lot of problems. Like, I have no self-control when it comes to things that I want. Like, I can't wake myself up in the mornings at all. Like, I'm really bad about it. Like, so bad, I sleep in till, like, I think today I slept in till 4. Which is really bad. Like, you shouldn't sleep in that long. Like, maybe till 10 or 11. Like, I set my alarm at 11, but I just turn it off in the morning. Because I don't care, because I'm tired or whatever. And I gotta start treating myself like I'm the adult and the child at the same time. Like, I may not want to do this thing, but I really have to do this thing because I'm the adult now. I don't know. It's hard. There's no right way to do anything either. Like, every time I think that there's a right way to do something, I try it and it doesn't work. And I get frustrated because this was supposed to be a surefire way of me doing this thing, and why isn't it working, and what's wrong with this? Like, I just don't understand. And I end up feeling really bad because I've failed or whatever. And I don't know. I feel like that's a huge thing in my life. Like, I always feel like I'm doing something wrong, and it comes off as, me looking down on myself, and I'm sure I do look down on myself because who doesn't? And I worked really hard to actually like myself. Like, it took me a real long time. Like, I started maybe my second year of high school, I started actually trying to like myself. No, not high school. College, not high school. I tried actually liking myself because I got into Tumblr a lot, and for as bad as it is on there, they do have a lot of really good, like, self-care advice where it's like, hey, like, there's no reason for you to be angry at yourself if you did something bad or if you did something wrong, like, because most likely it's not something bad, it's just, what your brain thinks is bad, and a lot of the times your brain is wrong, your brain is stupid, and your brain doesn't like you. And I remember talking to my yoga instructor about that once, and she described it as having 2 different types of brain, like, brain activity. Your, upper brain and your lower brain, I guess. Like, you're 2 different personalities of your brain. The part of your brain that says, you're so ugly, and I hate you, and you should, put down that hot dog. And then the other part of your brain that says, well, you didn't eat today, so you probably should eat the hot dog. And it says, maybe you look, not so great today, but I bet if you take a shower, and you brush your teeth, and, you put on some actual clothes, it's the part that actually tries to, like, negotiate. And the hard part about having a brain like that is, I'm sure that everybody has a brain like that, honestly. The hard part about dealing with your brain is you have to essentially just force your brain into shutting up. Like, the bad side of your brain wants to keep talking, and you've probably fostered that feeling your entire life of, oh my gosh, like, I look so fat today, and I hate the way I look, like, why can't I just be 120 pounds like everybody else? Or, you know, why can't I be as funny or as outgoing or have as many friends as people? And you start to wonder, like, why am I different? Why am I wrong? And there isn't an answer for that. There's no answer for why you're different, because you just are. You are different. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being different. And it's taken me quite some time to figure that out, and I'm still kind of piecing together what it really means to be different. And I struggle. I really do. I struggle all the time. Like, I have trust issues because I have extreme self-doubts. Like, I had an imposter syndrome for such a long time, and if you don't know what that means, it's basically, like, people think you're smarter than you are, or, you know, that's what your brain tells you. And, you know, apparently, if you think this, it's most likely true that you are the person that people think you are. Which is, you know, it was hard for me to come to, because people thought I was really smart, and I didn't feel that way. And people thought I was really nice, and I also didn't feel that way. And, like, it's hard to come to terms with, you know, because sometimes you're just so used to the negative in your life and in your brain that you just start to accept it. And you gotta just sometimes just slap your brain and say, no, like, I am a nice person, like, I am smart, I am pretty, like, even if I'm not pretty to myself, somebody's out there looking at me saying, wow, she's the girl of my dreams. And even if it's like a labradoodle who says that, like, in their, you know, their little dog mind, that's enough for me. If my dog loves me, that's enough for me. But it's hard. It's really hard. You gotta start somewhere. And, you know, for me it was, well, instead of saying, I look terrible today, I would say, you know, something like, well, I mean, I look better than I did yesterday. Or, you know, I would try and smile in the mirror and say, well, at least I have a nice smile. Or, you know, something that was positive about myself at all. Like, and it helped when I changed my appearance. Like, I went from, like, a sandy blonde to fluorescent pink. Like, even a maroony purple. And it drastically changed my personality, because I genuinely saw something that I liked every single day. And I saw it in the mirror, and I just, every time I looked at it, I'd be like, whoa, who is that? Like, she's got amazing hair. And that was one less thing that I needed to tell myself, is that you like your hair. Like, oh, well, of course I do. It's beautiful. Like, it's beautiful, and it's soft, and people constantly play with it, and it's, you know, it makes me happy. And that's one of the things that, you know, it didn't jumpstart my, you know, self-love, but it definitely, it helped it along. Like, it helped foster it a bit. And I still have tons of problems with, you know, feeling like I'm inadequate. Or, you know, my friends do a lot of really cool stuff. Like, my one friend, he does 2 jobs, and, you know, he's got things he does on the side, too, and he's super popular with everybody, and I ask him all the time, like, well, how do you talk to all these people? And he says, well, it's hard, but, you know, I do it because it's just, you know, what I'm used to. And I tell him, like, oh, wow, like, I wish I could do that eventually. And he said, oh, I'm sure you will. It's not really that fun, but I'm sure you will. And I was like, like, if he doesn't really like it that much, why does he do it? And he's like, oh, well, a lot of people know me, so gotta be nice. Gotta say hello. And a lot of the times, I'm sure he wishes he didn't have to say hello to so many people, because he probably wants some downtime. I know he wants downtime all the time. It's weird. Life is weird. I'd like to know eventually, one day, that I was, shouldn't have even worried. Like, I'd like to be one of those people one day where I do say to myself as I'm looking back on who I am now, like, maybe I'm even, older, watching this video again, like, probably for, like, the 5th or 6th time, because I come back every year or so when I watch it. I'd like to think that I'm looking back on me right now thinking, I don't even know why I was so worried. Everything turned out really good. Like, I've got my own thing now. Like, I really want that. I don't know, everybody says, you'll find your way eventually. And it's like, yeah, but, like, when? When, though? And it's not that I'm, excited for my life to start, because as I am right now, I kind of not. I don't want to be an adult, and I don't want to have to go out into the workforce and, work for the rest of my life doing something that I hate and, essentially suffering because I have to be an adult. And, with YouTube, this helps a lot, because I genuinely can just, be who I am and do what I do, like, every day, and people care about that. I don't know if it's a genuine care, or, if it's just curiosity, or if it's because you relate to me, but it's genuinely, reassuring knowing that if all else fails, I'll still have this. And I can't say enough how much it means to me, or how much, how lucky I feel. Like, I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years, and, like, I just suddenly blew up because I started doing videos of me talking, which is nice, because I can just say whatever I want, with limitations, but I can say what's on my mind, and I can just kind of let things out, and not worry, and I still have you guys to listen to me. And, if I ever do anything that's out of favor, I'd feel lucky that I had that time with you guys. For as sappy as this seems. But I do feel so lucky to have you guys here with me. You're my little cheerleaders. You're cheering me on every single step of the way. And it's really crazy. It's a good crazy. I've got a lot of things that I want to say eventually, and I know a few of you have been asking for more specific videos, like you'll give me a topic to work with, and a lot of the times I'll say, like, oh, I need to think of stuff, or, it'll be coming soon, and I'm sure it will. Like, the more I talk about stuff, the more I remember stuff, and the easier it is for me to actually, like, pick different topics. Like, the more I remember stuff, the more I write stuff down. Like, oh, yeah, like, the actual time I peed myself in kindergarten, like, you guys want to hear about that? I did pee myself in kindergarten, as most kids do. It was because I didn't want to stop playing at recess. And when I was in kindergarten, we had a full day. So I was still kind of getting used to being at school. And I just wanted to keep playing. And so I played and I played and I played, and I could feel that I had to go pee really badly. And I was rounding the corner, and I just couldn't hold it anymore, and I peed myself. Not very, big, like, it was the only time I ever peed myself at school, but I had to go to the nurse, and she gave me a new set of clothes, which we were supposed to give back, which I don't ever think we did. But I went around the whole day with that set of clothes, and my mom came and got my clothes at the end of the day, and came and picked me up. It was nice. I don't remember a lot from kindergarten. Like, I remember this one time I was in gym class, and I had stuck my tongue out when we were doing dodgeball or something. Some sport with a ball. We were in the gym, though. I remember that. And the gym teacher told me that I wasn't supposed to stick my tongue out because it was mean to the other kids. Me being a little poop. I did it again, and she told me, if you do it again, you're not going to be able to hang out with your friends or whatever, or you're not going to have recess for today or something like that. Well, little old me, I did it again. And the teacher was like, that's it. Like, I think she said you can't play with them anymore, like the rest of the kids. She said, you're not playing anymore. And I think I had to sit out in the hallway, now that I remember. I had to sit out in the hallway, like, there was a little desk there that I had to sit in. And I remember my friends, they were like, she wasn't sticking her tongue out. She wasn't sticking her tongue out. She just had to lick her lips, right? You had to lick your lips. And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, like, I saw it. You're going in detention or whatever. Like, you're going out in the hall. And, like, it's crazy what you can remember. Oops. I've had lots and lots of good memories, which is why I don't talk about school that much. Like, I've had a lot of really good school memories. Like, my entire middle school was great. Like, when I moved to, my second middle school, I had the time of my life. Like, I had made a huge group of friends that really genuinely liked me, and I got along with almost everybody. Like, sure, I had, people who bullied me or whatever, but I also had a huge group of friends who were, always by my side and saying, hey, you need to stop that, like, that's not cool, and people would usually back off when there's, like, a posse following you. And I know I had a lot of trouble in high school. Like, when I first got to high school, I was a transfer student again. And I didn't know anybody. And it was hard to make friends because, when you transfer in, like, a month after school starts, people already have that clique of people who they kind of decided are going to be their friends. And I didn't have that. And, like, the harder I tried to make friends, the more people didn't really want to be my friend. And that's what forced me to be normal. I tried to be normal, and I didn't fool people. Like, people know when you're not normal. Like, I don't know, there was something about me that people just didn't want to mess with. Some force. My weird dumbness. But yeah, people could tell that I was different, and I don't know if it was because I had an accent or because I was a lot immature. I was very immature in middle school, so I guess that would carry. I don't know. High school was hard. High school was really hard for me. Like, I was super secluded, and I, like, had a superiority complex, and, like, I felt like, if I wasn't worth people's time, then they weren't they weren't worth my time, and I, like, basically took that as, well, that makes me better than them. Like, I had a huge, like, superiority complex, and like, I spent a lot of time in my room reading books, and I would, like, create stories for myself, like, usually just in my mind. But at the same time, I would take those stories into real life and, you know, kind of just live them as I was doing whatever I was doing. Like, I would daydream in the middle of class, and, you know, even though I was doing okay in class, wasn't the time to be daydreaming. And I still do this. Like, I don't, it's not that I don't enjoy where I am right now, but, you know, my brain can think of so many different situations where I would be having more fun or, you know, doing better, and it always pops up at super inopportune times when I'm trying to have fun with friends, or I am out with family, and it's like, well, you could be having a lot more fun with, you know, Catman and Catland. It's like, well, yeah, of course I could, but Catland doesn't exist. And, neither does Catman. Like, these are real people, and these real people exist, and they expect me to be here at dinner, like... And it's something I really struggled with for a really long time, and it's gotten a lot better now. Like, I don't daydream quite as much. Most likely because I'm actually, you know, present in my life, or I'm trying to be more present. Like, I go do things, and I, like, try to take interest in what people are saying. And, like, occasionally I'll drift off, and, you know, I won't hear what somebody's saying. And it's not because I don't care what they're saying either. It's just because my brain is, you know, hardwired to do that. And it sucks, because I wish it wasn't, and I wish I could stop, because I feel bad. Like, I'm not present in my day-to-day life because of this. And YouTube has helped. YouTube has helped me. Like, this is a huge step for me to, like, start actually being present in the moment. And like I said, I can't thank you guys enough. And it's I don't know if it's because you have an interest in me, or if it's just, you know, a way for me to get stuff off my chest, but it does help. And, you know, as sad as it sometimes seems that I have to, you know, sort of live off of the, you know, encouragement that I get from you guys, it's what I need right now. And I don't think it's sad. Like, you guys are providing actual income for me, and, you know, this is an actual job for me, and I can't ever thank you enough. Like, I didn't go to school for art. I didn't go to school for art. I didn't go to school for art. I wanted to. But I knew that was something that I couldn't do because I would never get a job in art. Which is terrible. And it's so sad to think about. But you guys have made it possible for me to do this. And I know you guys probably don't want to hear about you. So I'm going to talk a bit more about me. I'm doing something that I never thought was possible for me. Which is, you know, it's incredible for me. Like, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how long I wanted to be an artist. Like, I wanted to be an artist since I was a little kid. Like, it was one of my dream jobs. Like, I wanted to be a veterinarian, a singer, an artist, or a ballerina. Like, those were my four. And, like, when I figured out you had to, like, put dogs to sleep and stuff, I didn't want to be a veterinarian anymore. And I was too fat to be a ballerina. Like, sorry, little Sarah, you were too fat. Too fat and not graceful. So, I didn't genuinely like art until, you know, middle school. And by that point, like, I had friends who drew with me, and I had people to keep me going. And, like, when I got to college, I didn't have that anymore. Like, I hardly had that in high school, and, like, my first year of college, I didn't have that for anything. Like, my entirety of high school, I drew for myself. And it was hard to keep myself going because a lot of the times you just wanna give up. Like, nobody cares about my art. And, like, people make fun of me because, you know, what I draw is anime. Like, I draw stupid anime. And, like, that's not real art, blah, 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 whatever. Like, you're only gonna do real art if you do, you know, paintings or whatever. And I did it. I somehow figured out that this was the way to do things, and I was absolutely blessed that people actually enjoyed my stuff. Like, and I'd been uploading things for however long before I even started to talk. Ooh, excuse me, that was a hiccup, not a cry. I'm not crying, don't worry. Like, nothing was working for me, and I was going to give up. But as soon as I started talking, you know, like, I don't even have to talk about much and people will watch. Like, I could just say my day was horrible and here's why, and people would be like, oh my gosh, I feel that. Which is, I never thought I'd have that. Ever. Like, I'm the annoying one. I'm the one who's always, you know, doing something stupid or, you know, I don't know. I never thought it would occur to me that this could be a job that I could do. And I'm, honestly, it's quite a ride every single day. Like, I think about, well, what could I do next? Like, what would they enjoy watching? Like, what would I enjoy making? And sometimes it's hard. Like, I was sick for, like, a week and a half. And I, like, took a Monday and a Wednesday off last week because I wasn't feeling good. And, like, I don't want it to be something that I can't ever quit if I'm, you know, I'm not ready. Like, it's not something that I would ever, you know, keep doing if I didn't feel up to it. Like, I know you guys enjoy watching this, and I appreciate that, but this girl's coming first. Like, there's a reason that so many, you know, YouTubers have burnouts, and it's because they do put out stuff every single day, and they, you know, they can't, like, figure out what to do anymore, or, you know, nothing is catching quite as good as old stuff. And I don't want that to ever happen to me because this is fun. It's fun for me. And I just want to enjoy myself, you know? It's hard to, you know, let it become work. And, you know, but it has to be work for me. Like, I need to keep doing this because right now it's what's keeping me sane. And it's nice to be able to just get stuff off my chest. It really is. And I think that's about it for today. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if I should do any more of this stuff in the future. This is just on, you know, wood canvas. I got it at a store that was like Michael's, but not quite Michael's. It's called Pat Catan's, and they have tons of these, and it's really fun. It's super easy. This was like $12, and this was like $4, so if you wanted to do anything like this, go to like a Michael's or, you know, a Hobby Lobby. They've got stuff like this too. Try it out, and if you don't like it, just return it. Like, return this. I'm sure you can't return this, but I found it's very relaxing. Like, the wood smells really good when it burns. Like, it smells like firewood, but it's really nice, and it's relaxing. Even though I pressed down really hard, like, look at the pen nib. Like, it's sort of bent a little bit. Anyway, I think that's about it for today. Today's was really long. 50 minutes. I might have to cut it down into 2 videos. But I really want to thank you guys so much for staying with me this long, and I hope for many more videos in the future with you. Alright, I think that's about it. See ya!